on the Outcast floor. Let's go, let's go.
All right, guys, we're out here with the 4S Creighton. I've done a couple of M2C upgrades to this thing, along with the bash bar, and then upgraded the servo. I've had this thing since before Armageddon, but I haven't really gotten it out much. But now that I've done these upgrades, I've been trying to test this thing out. It's doing the same thing the Talion did to me, just giving me a bunch of problems. But we'll go over all that. Right now, I'm going to try to see if we can make it through a battery here on the Fresh Park ramp. So let's see. So yeah, man, this thing's been a little bit of a challenge for me. That's not bad. So we're still running stock electronics as far as the ESC and the motor. But we've got an upgraded servo. That's it, just the upgraded servo. Not bad. I'm also testing out the ZRS pistons from M2C. So far, so good. I mean, you know, it's to be expected. It's M2C. Oh, I shaved the ramp. Oh, barely made that one. Holy moly. Woo! There we go. There we go. Now I put a 17 tooth pinion in this thing, so I also don't know how well the motor will handle that. Because I know that's, I think stock was a 14. Woo! So I'm up to a 17, so that's, you know, 3 teeth up. That's gonna, I do have a fan on the motor, maybe, I think. Or the stock fan on the motor, I'm not sure. Like I said, I haven't been with this thing, I haven't been out with this thing much. I haven't even really put much time and energy into it. Just because I've been busy with the other thing, with the other cars. I've got a Mega I'm trying to build, a Mega Creighton 12S I'm trying to build. I just got finished rebuilding my original 6S Typhon, which is another reason I'm out here. After building all day long, you need a nice little bash session. Well, that's about 4 hits now. Oh, we got cars. Oh, no, they're turning. Good. Get out of here. Just kidding. But yeah, I spent most of the day, it's my day off, so I spent most of the day just working on cars, getting everything either rebuilt or starting off. Like my Mega Creighton build is just now starting. I got my bulkheads in, got my shocks done, got the chassis done. So it was a matter of getting everything, at least that part of it put together. So, and then I completely rebuilt my 6S Typhon, my OG Typhon. Well, this is a flip machine, bro. Jesus. I don't even have to try, it just kind of wants to flip anyway. But yeah, man, so I've just been busy all day building. So I'm like, all right, I gotta get out of here. I gotta go outside, get some fresh air, get some bashing in, test out this rig and see what's good and what's not. So far, so good. So far, so good. See if I can get a fronty here. Woo! That was a fronty, but it sure hell wasn't a nice one. Uh-oh. And we have a failure. That's what I get for trying to do a front flip. we're stuck to one direction here. Yep. All right. Where did it fail? Oh, I see it. Yep. It looks like the servo horn itself came off. That's different. That was my fault though. I nose dove it bad. Ooh, this whole thing came off. Holy moly. The whole entire like servo mount slash ESC box or receiver box came off. All right, well, I'm gonna have to fix that and bring it back.
We are the Outcast 4. Let's go, let's go.
All right, guys, we're here for round 2 with the Forest Outcast. I tried to go to the park just a minute ago. That's why you see the grass and everywhere and the axles and everything. But the grass was too tall and this thing was like plowing through it, and it was just too much for this thing, you know? So we're back out here for round 2 of the ramp bash with the Fresh Park ramp. Truck's fully loaded with M2C goodies, so we'll go through that after the fact. We'll see what we can do right now. All right. Ooh, yeah, baby. So this truck hasn't been too bad, but it's been a little bit like the, like I said, like the Talion, where it's just little things, man. Little things keep failing, or I don't know.
We are the Outcast 4. Let's go, let's go.
To be honest, guys, I'm not really a fan of the Forest platforms. What I would say is they are perfect for people that are mild bashing and for little kids. So anyway, what I was saying was I think they're perfect for like kids and for like medium to mild bashing. But I think at the level that what I'm doing here with the big sends and stuff, I just don't know that they're 100% good for that, you know? I mean, they hold up pretty well, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just biased to the 6S cars. I'm just used to that kind of power and performance or whatever the case is, but it just seems like there's a lot of stuff crammed into one space with these little things. And as such, they're a little bit more difficult for me to work on. I mean, for some people it might not make a difference, but I can't get my hands in these things for the life of me, dude. Everything for me is very, very difficult to access.
We are the Outcast 4. Let's go, let's go.
So it's not a total loss. Like I said, I mean, they're a decent platform, the Forest, Creighton, and the Outcast. But I think at the extreme ends of this performance spectrum, they're not quite what you would want. Ooh, nose dove it there. And I did put a 17 tooth pinion in this thing, which, like I said, I was just at the park. I was trying to get a little bit of a different look, you know, on the video here. But at the park with that 17 tooth pinion, man, it would overheat within 2 or 3 hits. So I was like, all right, well, tall grass, 17 tooth pinion, stock ESC and motor, not gonna happen, clearly. So I came back out here to finish the finished the battery off because on the last section of this video, basically I broke the servo mount, or uh-oh. Are we LBC already? Oh, I guess we are. Yep. That's LBC. Anyway, we'll catch up back up at the shop, guys. All right, guys, we're back at the shop here with the Outcast 4S. So I made a little bit of a list because this was quite a little bit of an adventure with things that broke, the good, the bad, etc. So the first thing I found was the motor wiring right here. Wherever it was in stock location, it ended up kind of chafing the sheathing on the wire, so I pulled it back, recovered it with heat shrink tubing, and then zip tied it in such a way and added zip ties to the wires themselves so that the zip ties actually create a barrier between the wire and the heat sink. So that was the first thing. The second thing I wanted to mention was the motor and ESC. I feel like this thing could use a little bit more power. Now obviously this is stock motor and electronics. I'm sure that if you went up to something from Hobbywing and or Castle, you'd get that extra performance with probably the same kV motor and same ESC rating, but just a little bit better performance. The motor housing, you probably won't be able to see. I'll try to stitch in a screenshot or a picture. The motor case cracked right here. I'm not sure when that happened, how that happened. Either way, that's one of the things that broke. The other thing was the servo link. I went to hit a jump, landed, lost steering, and a servo link in there, the piece that goes from the servo horn to the steering itself, cracked, and obviously left me with no steering. So I pulled a hot racing steering system that I had on my Creighton 4S and put it on here. That solved that problem. Then I had issues with connecting a FlySky, my GT5 FlySky receiver and controller. Anytime I put the FlySky receiver on this system, I would lose connection at around 80 to 100 feet. And I know it's not the controller because it's the same controller that I'm using on all my other rigs. And I know it's not the receiver because I tested the receivers on other rigs, and the receiver works on everything else along with the controller. So something about the way this is set up, maybe somebody out there already knows the answer to that, just does not allow me to use a FlySky receiver and radio system. I don't know what it is, but either way, as soon as I put a FlySky receiver and radio system on it at about 100 feet, I lose connection. And actually the first time I did that and I found out by the car getting stuck in full throttle and running head first right into the side of a car, which was not a good day. So those are some of the things that I found that were the negatives. So the good is this car is super durable. Okay, all the 4S ones are very, very, very durable. I would just say, like I said in the video, that at the extreme ends, when you're doing 100-foot jumps or 80-foot jumps and you're trying to send it like I am, or like Aldo does, or Rich Duper Bash, or RC Dude 81, some of these guys, you know, they all kind of do similar jumps. And at that level, these things will still make it, but they don't have the performance, I would say, that you want for that kind of extreme bashing. But anything less than that, and these things will probably last you forever, because it's just mostly plastic, so everything's flexible. Nothing really is inherently wanting to break or bend like you would in like one of the 6S rigs. As far as the upgrades, I've got the M2C Racing tower to tower brace. I've got the M2C Racing ZRS shot kit here. I've got the M2C Racing A and D blocks, and I've also got the M2C Racing bash bar, which I would say at the very least you need this bash bar if you're going to do some extreme bashing, because once you start hitting ramps and hitting big jumps, these chassis are plastic, so they will flex and flex and flex, but eventually flex and then break, which is not the worst thing because you can get the chassis for pretty cheap. But I mean, for the amount of money and the amount of time and energy you're going to spend, you put a bash bar on it and just forget about the chassis. You don't have to worry about it. What was the other thing? I think that's about it. I did put a high speed fan on the motor itself for the heatsink. I did put an upgraded servo to kind of help with the steering, because obviously out of the box it's pretty slow. And then along with the servo saver that it comes with, which it does have a hot racing servo saver, and that improved it a little bit, but most of the improvement comes from just having the servo itself have a high speed servo. So I think for this rig, what you would want to do is add a little bit more power and fix some of those little things that come with the stock wiring. Oh yeah, I've got the M2C Racing motor plate as well inside there. So I mean, it's got all the things you need to make it durable from M2C. The thing I was amazed with the most, or I would say impressed with the most, is the ZRS shock kit. Even if you just go like that, you can see how on the way down it's fast and on the way up it's slow. I mean, it's got that slow rebound. And I just was impressed by how much it changed the handling and how much it changed the way it took the initial hit when you're doing the big jumps. So I would say the biggest improvement would be from the ZRS shock kit from M2C. So other than that, it was a good time, other than all the different little things that failed here and there. But sometimes it's like that. It was the same thing with my Talion. You just have failures and you just have to keep, you know, figuring out what works and what doesn't until you get some sort of working package. So as it stands now, I think it'll take probably another 2 or 3 bash sessions. The crack in the motor housing, diff housing, motor housing, hasn't gotten any worse. It's been like that since probably the first bash. So I'm not even really worried about that, to be honest. I think it's probably not going to get any worse. If it does, I have spare ones. But overall, it's a good package. You do the upgrades from M2C. You either stick with the stock electronics or get an upgraded servo, ESC, and motor. And this thing is a beast. It's just not quite what a 6S rig would be. So anyway, it was a good time. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.